Hello, everyone. This is Alan Whitford speaking to you from RC Euro. We're having another one of our thought leader conversations, and today I'm very happy to introduce us to Doug Shaw from What Goes Around Limited. Hi, Doug. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Alan, and good morning to everyone. Very well indeed, thanks. Yeah, I've just come off the back of a great weekend. Got a fantastic week evolving in front of me, and it's a real pleasure to be able to talk to you this morning. Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, we're happy to have you, Doug. It's interesting. You and I met at an HR unconference, which was an interesting place for us both to meet, and run by John and Gareth. But in talking to you more, you're not an HR guy. So what is it that you do, and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, very briefly, my background is in sales and marketing primarily, and in trying to carry out that role effectively. I think I learned to listen a lot to customers and what they wanted and what their problems were. And I evolved from sales and marketing into, I had an exciting opportunity to set up and run a corporate social responsibility team within the wholesale division of BT, which was a great way to develop new relationships and try to solve problems that were common to the industry that we were in at the time. That led to a role in change management and stakeholder/employee engagement, which kind of added to the breadth and depth of what I was doing for BT. And I became more and more excited as these opportunities kind of threaded together about how I might not just make BT's work better, but make work better for people in general. And so a couple of years ago, I made the decision to leave BT and set up on my own and formed What Goes Around Limited. And that company exists primarily as a vehicle to help make work better. And in brief summary, the way we do that is by helping organisations to be aware of who their stakeholders are. We help them to inform them about what's going on and encourage them to ask stakeholders their opinions. And I guess most importantly of all, we encourage the organisation and help the organisation to act on what their stakeholders, be they employees, customers, suppliers, whomever, are telling them.
Well, that seems a very unique thing, to actually ask the customers and the stakeholders what they want to be doing to make their world of work better.
Yeah, indeed, and it proved to be very satisfying both for me, for my previous employer, and for the customers that I work with in the world of BT. And so I really felt quite passionately that this was something, that a model, if you like, that we could take out there and do more exciting things and help more organisations to stop doing dumb things to customers.
Well, I think that's a terrific line, the stop doing dumb things to customers. Certainly, as we sit in recruitment and HR, we see an awful lot of doing dumb things to candidates, and we've said for a long time, the candidate is a customer, and I think it's very important to look at that. So how have you found this? You've done some work recently with a charity. You've done some work with commercial companies. How are you finding the take-up of this idea that they should stop doing dumb things and pay more attention to what goes around?
Well, I guess like all startups, things are perhaps slower than you might like, and I think it's been a very interesting transition period for me, moving from the world of employment into the world of self-employment, forming a company, forming and forging relevant associations with other people with experience that complements mine, so that we can offer something meaningful to the customer. So it's been quite a slow start, but I don't think that's uncommon. In fact, the more people I talk to who are outside of the world of big business, the more people go, yeah, that's true. And in fact, a lot of people are saying to me that bearing in mind the relative newness of the organisation, we're actually doing good things and we're doing very well, which is reassuring to hear, because there are times when you kind of sit there and think, crikey, have I done the right thing? This is an uncertain environment that we're operating in. However, I do think that the uncertainty of the economic climate is actually, if you can find the right kind of people to do business with, and I think it's important not to try to appeal to everybody. I think it's important to be confident in what your own values are and accept the fact that those are going to chime with some people and not chime with others. And it's interesting, you talked about the whole possible candidates being possible customers. And I think it's really, that's part of that, trying to put that whole kind of stakeholder journey together. You don't actually have to be transacting with a company directly at that moment to be of value to them and of them to be of value to you. And so I think part of the process is about helping people to understand that journey better. And based on the feedback that we've had so far from the work we've done, I've been really quite humbled by the overwhelmingly positive response that our clients have given to us, both in terms of choosing us in the first place, and also the feedback that we've had when we've concluded work from them has been it's been lovely. I really feel like we are starting to make a difference to people and helping them be more fulfilling to themselves and also to their customers, suppliers, and other stakeholders that they have.
Do you find, Doug, that your personal style of certainly from what I've seen of using your own personal experiences and being quite open kimono, if you will, about what's going on in your life, certainly as you shared your life experiences with us at the Recruiting Unconference, and then very daringly created and sang a song with in a room filled with 60 strangers, which I thought was quite brave. But do you find that kind of approach that you take into the business, into your customers, is helping them perhaps relax a bit more, or be a bit more trustful, a bit more open to new ideas?
Well, I think so, and I'm a great believer in I need to be willing to do something. It's not right for me to go and engage with an organisation and kind of help them on that journey if I'm not willing to kind of feel the fear and do it anyway myself. So yes, that song piece was very unnerving for me at the time, but at the same time I think it's important to do these things, and that musical and more artistic side, if you like, is something within the organisation that we use selectively, but we've engaged with a number of organisations through the medium of song, surprisingly enough, and found it to be very successful. We've occasionally used them as a means to provoke an organisation into delivering better service. We've also used them as a way of highlighting some of the good things that people do. So, I think in summary, for that, you need, if you're going to say you're different, then I think you've got to be who you are, and if who you are is different, then that comes through. And sure, I like to think that makes organisations feel more comfortable. And certainly I've dealt with people recently who I would consider to be quite staid and quite straight and maybe quite set in their ways, and after having worked with us for a little while, they realise that, you know what, when you start to make work better and you start to listen to people and you start to enjoy their company and take an interest in what they're doing, the sky doesn't fall in on your head. Actually, good things start to happen. So it's a good way to lead by example, I think.
And is that was that one reason you joined the RSA to help encourage and broaden the artistic and musical side of you as it relates to business?
Well, I think so. I think the RSA is an interesting organisation, and I enjoy an appreciation of the arts, and I enjoy using things like that to help make work a more authentic and better place to be. So for me, the RSA is a useful organisation to be a part of. It enables me to meet lots of interesting people, to challenge some of my existing thinking, which is something I like to think that I'm doing all the time. So I think those things have a relevant, valid place in the workplace, even in this age of austerity that we're in now.
Well, I think, Doug, certainly when I've met you and had some good conversations with you, that openness and approach to trying to encourage companies to be more open and sharing of what it is they're trying to achieve, I think is one success for businesses. We touched on the other day, or the other moment, about pay, for example. I think you've recently written a blog about pay secrecy. What's your thoughts on that? It certainly seems to be a challenge in the culture, certainly in British business anyway.
Yeah, it does, and I think it's a shame, really, because I think it's one of those rather unfortunate levers that particularly larger organisations tend to pull on to exert some sort of control over their people. I don't see why a confident business shouldn't be, with confident people in it doing confident things, shouldn't be confident to talk about the kind of things like what each other earns. I mean, I just don't understand why those kind of things are a problem to a healthy business. And I think actually that kind of level of secrecy and the way people hide behind bureaucracy and rules is very often a sign of arrogance and a lack of confidence and a lack of willing to question and listen to people.
I think we could probably have another sort of 30-minute show just on those particular aspects, couldn't we?
Probably.
Doug, that's great. I mean, I'm really encouraged by the work that you're doing, and looking forward to hopefully doing some stuff directly with you in the future. How can people find you? What's the best web address? How do I get hold of you?
Well, if you type "stop doing dumb things to customers" into the good old internet, you'll find us fairly easily. And the company name, What Goes Around, I think that comes, increasingly is coming up on Google fairly highly. And our web is at wgalimited.com. The only other thing you can do, of course, and I'm always up for a good conversation, is just pick up the phone. And again, you can get our number from the website. So we're pretty easy to get hold of, I think, and we're always working on ways to be easier.
Pick up the phone. See, there's that old world social media tool, isn't it?
It's a handy one.
Yeah, it is. I know. Doug, it's been fantastic talking to you today, and I'm looking forward to engaging with you many more times in the future, and hopefully at RCEuro we'll stop doing dumb things to customers, and just really engaging with people in the same open way that you're showing us the way forward.
Cool. That's fantastic. Thanks, Alan.
All right. Have a great day, Doug. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.